Hello, I'm editing a video about Prince Andrew, so that was going to be the next one I put up, but I'm just aware that it's Thanksgiving today for my American viewers, and I just wanted to make a quick video for any of you who are dealing with narcissists today, because I know that that's something that can happen on a day like this, you know, that you find yourself in a situation where you sort of feel a duty to spend time with a narcissist. I will make other videos about why you can ignore that feeling and you can not spend a day like today with a narcissist, but for a lot of you it's probably too late for that, or it will seem to be anyway. So I wanted to talk about how to manage a narcissist really on a day when you're stuck with one. And I'll put out the Prince Andrew one either later today or tomorrow. And in it, I explain why there's been this long delay. But I think, you know, for any of you who are subscribers, you can see my message about that in the community section. So please have a look. And if you're not a subscriber, then that's an excuse for you to subscribe. So for those of you who are going to be spending today with narcissists, and really for other people, you know, in other countries who, that, you know, today isn't anything special, but it'd just be useful anyway to know, okay, how do you deal with a narcissist when you're stuck with one for a few hours? Well, one of the things that can be really useful is the grey rock technique, and I haven't yet talked about this, so I wanted to talk about that now. What it is it's basically giving a narcissist no emotional reactions and nothing really for them to get supply from. A narcissist gets narcissistic supply from your emotional reactions, whether that is because you're feeling great about them and you feel emotion about that, or whether it's because they're hurting you and you feel hurt or angry. But whatever that response is, that's what they get off on, the emotional response from you. So when you use the grey rock technique, what you do is you don't give them emotional reactions. And one way to do this is to make sure you don't ever talk about anything that's emotional for you. So if you're in a situation, for instance, where they might ask you about what's happening in your life, or, you know, or they might ask about a particular aspect of your life, make sure that you don't tell them anything that makes you feel emotional. So there are a lot of things that you can feel emotional about when you're talking to a narcissist that you might not feel emotional about with other people. Really, anything that makes you feel vulnerable, which really covers personal information, anything personal, just leave out of the conversation. So the safest bet is just to focus on really unemotional subjects that mean nothing to you. So the weather, the temperature, the taste of the food, the taste of what you're drinking, but leave out things like how your new job is going, you know, or whether you're looking for a job, or any of your insecurities or anxieties about anything at all, or anything that you're happy about, anything that you feel proud of, any of your achievements. Don't mention anything like that, because all of those things are things that the narcissist can use against you. You know, if, for example, if you talk about something that you're proud of, that leaves you vulnerable, because if the narcissist comes across as having contempt for something that you're proud of, you're going to feel bad. It's hard not to, you know, and something like that, I think that's quite a good example really, because that's the kind of thing that that you might feel that you're not vulnerable about, you know, because other people will have a positive response and that might be what you're used to. But when it comes to a narcissist, that's something that they'll use against you. And you know, and anything that you feel at all insecure about. So, you know, it could even be that you're dating at the moment. You know, well, they can use that against you too, because that's a vulnerability. Even though of course in real life it's just normal, it's just being human, it's just a part of life, but they can use that against you too. You know, that they can use you being single against you. That there are things that you wouldn't even think that they could use against you, that they will. Or if you're in a relationship, don't talk about your relationship. You don't need to talk about your partner that you're with. If you're having any problems, don't talk about that. If things are going really well, don't talk about that. You know, if you've just met someone new and you're excited, don't talk about that. So, because all of these things mean something to you, and that gives the narcissist some power. If there are children around, then that's great. You can pay attention to the children. If there are pets, you can pay attention to the pets. You can talk about the pets or the children, you know, saying positive things about them. But even when you're talking about these neutral subjects, just try to not show emotion and to appear quite flat. You know, other topics that maybe you could talk about might be the garden, if it's looking nice, if you can see it, you know, or the decoration, you know, the way the table looks, or the furniture, or something you like, you might compliment it. But just very sort of neutral topics. If they ask you about something that is in any way personal, and I think now you've probably gathered that when I say personal, that actually covers most things, just anything that you might have any emotion about. It could even be a friendship you have. You know, if they ask you about anything that's vaguely personal, just move away from that subject. So you could answer in a one-word response that it's going fine, and then change the subject and talk about something unemotional. And don't show emotion in the way that you speak either. If you are talking about the food, don't look excited about it. If you like it, don't show emotion when you're talking about it. Because even that, you know, any kind of emotion is something that the narcissist could get excited by and jump on, and they might try to get another reaction from you by something they say. But if you come across as boring and like you're not reactive at all about anything, it's gonna tire them out more quickly. Talking about the news or a film you've watched, a museum you've been to, an art gallery, anything like that is also quite personal, you know, because you're going to have a personal opinion on it. You might have a personal opinion on politics, for instance, that they will, you know, that they'll choose to disagree with, and you might have an emotional feeling about any of these things. So it's best, in my opinion, it's just better to not talk about it and just to come across as dull as you can. If you've given them narcissistic supply in the past, they might keep trying to get it from you. You know, they might keep trying to get a reaction from you. So if that happens, just answer in one word, you know, just, or, you know, wherever possible, or change the subject. Look away, look at the floor, look bored. You know, if you look bored, you'll come across as more boring to them, and they'll see that they're not getting anything from you. Where possible, I recommend not starting a conversation with this person, just so that they have to make all the effort and it becomes draining for them. So talk to other people, or don't talk, just focus on maybe what you're eating or your phone, or, you know, something like that. And then when they ask you things, just respond in as boring a way as possible. And if they try to get a reaction by being aggressive or accusatory or something like that, that's when you can use jade. And jade is don't justify, argue, defend, or explain. So never do any of those things. If they accuse you of something, just let it be. Don't respond. Because the reason they're doing it is to get a response from you. So if you let them have that, if you let them, you think, okay, fine, you can have that opinion if you want, and just leave it, then they're not actually getting what they were trying to get from you by saying this to you. You know, and you might find that they say something hurtful, but even if that happens, just try to not show any reaction on your face where possible. You know, I know that can sometimes be hard, and you might feel like you're reacting, you might feel a physical reaction in your body, you know, your heart might be racing, you might be breathing more quickly and just generally feeling anxious or upset. And when that happens, you can leave the room and just, as if you're just going to the toilet, and you could just go there and just, you know, calm yourself down. Maybe you could send a text to a friend or something, you know, and then just come back out when you're feeling better. And just as far as possible, don't make conversation with this person, and try to end conversations with them as soon as you can. So this was just a very quick video because I just want to quickly get it up before the day starts for the people out there in the States who are just starting their Thanksgiving Day. So I'll put out a video today or tomorrow. And in the meantime, look after yourselves. Don't forget that you really do have no duty to spend time with a narcissist. So it doesn't matter if they're your family or not, you still don't owe it to anyone to spend time with them if they have been abusive to you in the past, and if you have reason to think that they might be again. So, you know, it's not too late if you want to make your excuses and not spend a day with them. But either way, take care of yourselves. And one other thing actually that you could do is you could arrange that after you've finished the day with this person, that you're going to call a friend, or that you're going to speak to somebody that you trust in order to just sort of get rid of the toxicity from that person, and remember who you really are. You know, spend time with somebody who sees you for who you are and not in a really distorted light. If there isn't someone who's available to speak to, you know, if other people are busy with their own family situations, it could help just to write down what happened, so that then at least you can read it back, and that might help you to feel a bit more objective about it. And another thing you can do is just focus on your body. You can actually do this throughout the day. When you're feeling anxious, just focus on how your body is feeling. Focus on the way that your heart might be racing or your breathing might be faster, and just watch it and let go of what's causing it to happen. You know, let go of your thoughts around it and just watch the way your body's reacting. That can be really useful, because doing that can actually calm you down, you know, because it takes your focus away from the narcissist, and it puts you back in touch with yourself and your reality. You know, and your reality is that this person is upsetting you. And that way, you know, when you focus on that, you're there with yourself, nurturing yourself just by watching how you're responding. When you get home afterwards, do something nice for yourself. You know, maybe have a bath or listen to songs that you love. And go back to your body. You know, pay attention to how your body feels. You may be holding a lot of tension from the day, so if you focus on where that tension is and just keep watching it without trying to get rid of it. Just watch it, watch how your body feels, and you'll find that gradually you start to let go of it. And it's a great way to process feelings, because it means you don't store them in your body. They're not kept as trauma in your body. So you can do that just for as long as it takes, and you'll find that after a while, after you've left this person, you've left this situation, that you'll start to calm down. And get away as soon as possible. If you do feel like it's going to be really hard to get out of spending a day with a narcissist, and it's just going to be too difficult for you at the moment to say no to it, what you can do is just give yourself a short amount of time there. Tell yourself, okay, I'll go there between this time, and then I'm going. Then I'm making my excuses and leaving. If you're spending Thanksgiving on your own, you're not going to be the only one doing that. There are a lot of people who do, and the same for Christmas. It's not something that's talked about much, but it's actually really common. And if you're doing that because you can't tolerate somebody or some people in your family because they cause you so much distress, then I think it's really brave of you to do what you're doing and to look after yourself. And I think it's a lot better that you're spending time on your own than spending time with people who are just going to make you feel miserable. So I think you should be proud of yourself for looking after yourself, and just distract yourself, watch Netflix, or a film that you love. Just do something that is relaxing, that takes your mind off things. And just bear in mind that there are loads of us in the world who don't celebrate Thanksgiving. I mean, in Thailand, no one knows it's Thanksgiving. Same for Europe. And when it comes to Christmas time, it's going to be the same. There's loads of parts of the world where people don't celebrate Christmas, and people aren't going to know that it is Christmas. They're just going to be getting on with their lives, doing their own thing as if it's any other day. So try to keep those people in mind as well, and know that it's not only you in the whole world who isn't celebrating, and what you're doing is you're looking after yourself, and you really should feel proud of yourself for that. Spending a day like this on your own is nothing to feel ashamed about. You probably have a good reason for that if you're in that position. So if shameful feelings come up, if you feel bad about yourself for that reason, try to bring some logic to it and ask yourself, why am I alone? Why have I chosen this situation for myself? And it might feel like it hasn't been your choice, depending on what the situation is. But try to look back at the people that you have spent it with in the past and look at why those relationships are no longer in existence. What have those people done that's been really hurtful? And just remind yourself of the facts, so that you're not left, because sometimes we can come to crazy conclusions because of shame. Shame is a really powerful force. So if that happens to you, just try to challenge those conclusions that are forming in your head and look at the actual facts. Look at what these people have done that's hurt you. So I'm going to leave it here. I just wanted to quickly get this video out for really mainly for viewers in the States, but I think everyone can use these techniques, for any narcissist that you're stuck in a situation with, so I hope it's been useful to everyone, and I'll see you either today or tomorrow. I don't really know what that means for everyone because of the long time difference, because I'm now in Thailand, so I'm thinking more in my time zone. But anyway, another video will come up soon. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.
ยำส้มโอยำส้มโอ is snake เอ้ย snake no snake yes snake
Snake?
yeah
No. What do you mean snake?
can eat
There's no snake in here.
no snake ดูนะ
I hope there's no snake. Oh, snack.
snake
Snack is good. Snack.
no snake
You know what a snake is?
snake ดูแมวไหน snake
งูสแน็คงู
แก้วแตก
สแน็คงูงู
snake
งู
snake
งูงู
แล้วก็พูด